Recording in progress.
Good evening. Is there feedback? There is.
Maybe turn this off. Does that help?
Karen, can you go on mute for a second?
Hello?
Yeah, can you go on mute for a second? And Liam, can you go on mute?
You
Can
want
I
me to
do
go?
what?
Can you both go on mute for a second?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Good evening.
Okay.
That appears to work. Okay. Good evening. The Red Bank Historic Preservation Commission will hold a regular meeting on Wednesday, June 17th, 2026 at 7 p.m. at 90 Monmouth Street, Red Bank, New Jersey. Adequate notice of this meeting has been posted at Borough Hall, filed with the Borough Clerk, and provided to the Asbury Park Press and the Two River Times. The commission has maintained a policy cutoff hour of 8:30 p.m. for its hearings. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll start with the roll call.
Louis Almarini,
Present.
Marjorie Cavalier,
Present.
Liam Collins,
Present.
Paul Cagno, absent, Karen Smelskoff,
Muted.
she's present,
Present.
Anthony Sotero, absent, Michael White, absent, Betsy Valera,
Present.
and Matthew Cummings, absent.
The meeting minutes were not yet available for this meeting. I mean, the meeting minutes from the May meeting. So at our next meeting in July, we will review both the minutes of this meeting and the minutes of last month's meeting. The next matter is the 2025 annual report, which was included among the materials that were distributed Monday. Does anyone have any questions or comments on the annual report before we put it up for approval?
It looked fine to me.
Good.
Yeah, nice job.
Well done. Okay, may I have a motion to approve it?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you. And do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you.
Now we're just doing all in favor.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good. And now turn to the reports. We'll start with the Minor Works Review Committee, which has started now to have meetings twice a month on specific dates. I think it's the Wednesday before this meeting and the Wednesday after this meeting.
Yes.
And those are, I think they're recorded or
No, they're not recorded.
But they're viewable.
They are published. The meetings are published, and yes, they are viewable. We do meet via Zoom at 9 o'clock, the first and last Wednesday of every month.
Yeah. We had 2 so far.
Yes, we have had 2 so far. So so far we have reviewed 5 applications. 4 were for signs, and the sign applications were for 88 Broad Street, 7 Broad Street, 30 West Front, and 39 Broad Street. We also reviewed an application for 23 Wallace Street, and this was for the replacement of balcony railings. And the reason why this went before the commission was this due to the fact that the balcony railings was for maintenance purposes, and it did not change the character of the building itself. And it's a fairly new building. And so there were no real historic significance, and it faced the rear and the side. It wasn't directly, the improvements weren't directly facing Wallace Street.
Okay. Thank you. River Center, Anthony is not here, so no
Anthony's not
report.
here.
Historic sites and design guidelines.
Okay, so tomorrow I will be participating in a panel in Morristown. Stephen asked that a representative from Red Bank come to join a representative from Cape May County to talk about the process that we went through. So that is tomorrow from 2 o'clock to 3:30, and we'll see how it goes. I also kind of mentioned it here. One of the properties that came before us for review had their ribbon cutting. All of you were invited to that.
Mm.
So I did go and thanked the owner for keeping one of the recommendations that I think Karen was particularly interested in. At one point, they were talking about removing 2 windows from the second floor and putting some kind of ornamentation there instead of keeping the 4 windows that were part of the Sears model. And they did keep the 4 windows. So I just, thank them for that. So yeah, so that's all I have.
Very good. Thank you. Is there anything to report for the Certified Local Government Designation Committee?
Yes. So included in the package tonight, I put together basically what is, and I haven't discussed this with Shauna, but basically it's our master checklist to basically keep track of our progress as we move through this process. So I don't think we have to go through every single line item tonight, but maybe offline, Shauna and I can go through it, and for the next meeting, we can go through and at least review and see what progress has been made already. And then we can present that at the next meeting. There are a couple other things that are connected to the certification process and are actually items on the checklist. The one thing is the training that each commissioner is supposed to go through every year. So there's seems to be a couple of different ways to do this. One way is we can attend conferences, or we can also request that the State Historic Preservation Office send someone to train us specifically on a certain topic. So maybe what we want to put on the agenda for the next meeting is what types of things we would like to be trained in, and then I can work with Shauna and we can request a trainer to come from the State Historic Preservation Office and provide us training during one of our commission meetings. So that's one way that we can make sure that we're adhering to that requirement as part of the application process, so we're all doing our minimum amount of training.
You're talking about number 5, right? The historic
Yes.
preservation. So, and the last comment that's there is design guideline work you've contributed to. So would that mean that since we were working on these design guidelines last year, that everybody would have satisfied that requirement?
I don't know. It's a good question. Maybe that's we can bring that up with the Historic Preservation Office when we talk to them about the training and see if that would fulfill that requirement. I'm not sure, but we'll find out.
Yeah, I would find it helpful to kind of get a list of very specific list on things that we could do, including, maybe there's some online things that could be done, instead of physically going to a conference. Because I know that, for example, the library, you can either click on pre-recorded training, would be another option for some people who would find it difficulty to carve out time to actually physically live stream something. So I think that
Right.
would be helpful.
Okay, well, yeah, we'll find out when we talk to the Historic Preservation Office. So I'll report back to you on that in the next meeting. But it's just to, I guess, so everyone's aware of what's on the checklist, and so we can start ticking those off as we progress through our process. And then the other thing is the resume. So we each have to submit a resume as part of the CLG application process. So I just put together a basic guideline for you to each tailor your individual resume so that basically it highlights your experience and skills that you bring to, that's an asset to the commission. I think if we could maybe set a deadline for that, maybe if everyone would have their resumes to Shauna, let's say by September. And then that'll be another thing we can tick off our checklist.
Okay.
Okay, yep, so that's all.
I just have one more question.
Okay,
That when you talk to the people at the state, if you could get clarification on item number 7, articles walking tours exhibits, talks on local history or preservation. So could,
you're talking about the resume or the
no, I'm talking,
checklist?
yeah, no, that one I'm talking about the resume.
Oh,
Right.
yeah, okay.
All right, so could you include things that you've done independently, like if you visited other historic cities? And
Absolutely. I think anything that's going to add to, our case, that would be absolutely, worth putting on there.
oh, okay. And so finally, when we're talking about attendance of training and such, are we shooting to submit this in 2027? So we would, like, when does the clock start for conferences and all that?
I think we'd have to, the application's due in March of 2027, but it will be, I think, basically for the previous year, so
Okay.
it'll be this calendar year.
So, so one of the things that we could put in the minutes would be to have the commissioners thinking in terms of what they're doing this year to maybe kind of work to really make sure that we have everybody attending or doing something in that category.
Yeah, that's if everyone can review those guidelines for the resume, then like I said, anything you can add to your resume that's going to build our case for being a strong commission is going to be beneficial. So
Okay.
um,
All right. So if maybe we could highlight that for everyone, right? Because we still have the summer to, to plan things and the fall, right?
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Thank you. Moving to the two items on the agenda for old business, starting with HPC 107, which is 65 Washington Street. We had an initial discussion of this at the last meeting.
Can you hear it? Liam and
Can
Karen?
everyone hear me?
Can you hear him? Lou?
Yes.
Okay,
Thank you. This is a home that is in the historic district that was purchased a couple of years ago and restored, a nice restoration. We actually had been given the benefit of reviewing and approving the plans. Once restored, it was sold to new owners. The new owners would like to put a prefab shed and garage at the end of their driveway in the back right corner of the driveway, which could be accessed from the driveway along the right side of the house, once extended to the garage. The garage, the end of the garage that has the garage door in it would be visible from the street, as well as the roof line of the garage, including the roof pitch. Before I give my thoughts on it, maybe I'll ask if others have had a chance to review the proposed plans and any comments on it.
okay, my concern is that to me, the orientation of the roof does not match the orientation of the home, which under the design guidelines is something that it should copy. And if we truly want to make a recommendation, I think that matters. It's almost, I think my view would be it should take on the appearance of a carriage house, since it's a Victorian house. So some kind of ornamentation, fretwork that could match the front of the house. And that's not the impression I get. I'm concerned about the fact that it's all wood, property matching next to it, that kind of thing. But as a historic home, I think it should look, or attempt to look anyway, as something that has been there. Because I don't know if anybody remembers, there was a garage on the property on the opposite side of where they're placing it that had to be torn down because it was wood and it was in such disrepair. That's kind of a hint of things to come with this all wood garage. But I think that it's oriented the wrong way in terms of the way the roof is presented.
Are you suggesting that, well, there are two ways to interpret your remarks. One is that the roof isn't sufficiently pitched, or the pitch of the roof should match the pitch of the major
Right, it's
architectural
like
elements
flipped.
of the house.
It's flipped.
Which, by the way, is my opinion as well. I think the pitch of, if I don't know what the roof pitch of the house is, it might be 9/12. Whatever it is, the garage should have the same roof pitch so that when you glance at the property, your immediate reaction is that that garage belongs to that house.
Yeah.
They're of one
There
you
should
know,
be,
design.
there should be elements that
and
you would kind of associate that they're together.
right. And right now, the design as submitted looks like a very standard shed roof pitch, which is a shallow roof. A shallow pitch. It might be 3/12. I don't know. And that would be my number one recommendation. Now, another interpretation, are you suggesting that they rotate the garage 90 degrees and put it across the backyard so that the the shingles of the roof are visible from the house?
Yeah,
Okay,
and that the wider part of the garage is facing front. So they're gonna swing around?
well.
Well, originally
I-
the,
I'm
the,
of the opinion that that isn't. I note that when you look at the house, it's got gables facing in various directions.
Right.
So in my opinion, it's not as important, the orientation of the garage in the backyard. And if they were to put the orientation of the garage as in their plans with the door facing the street and with the right roof pitch, that roof pitch matches a dormer that's on the second floor, second and third floor above the front door.
Mm-hmm.
If those roof pitches matched, I think it holds together well. I understand it would look good also if you turned it and put it
Well,
across
I
the
mean,
backyard,
if you
but
look,
I think that's a
they're
bigger,
they're, everything that you see about these carriage houses is like the wider part is facing forward, the same as the width of the house, as opposed to just a narrower approach.
yeah.
So,
I
I mean, it would help if they were here and they could, you know,
Yes,
but they're not. So that's,
is the, will the, doors be, carriage doors, or is it gonna be a roll down door?
as in the rendering, it looks like it's a standard roll down door.
Okay. Yeah, originally the garage was on the other side of the backyard and it was accessed on, through a shared driveway with
Everybody.
the house to the
Look
left.
out.
And so from the road, you couldn't see it from the street.
I mean,
Um,
I don't know what this means when they say in garage doors and ramps, it says in the specs, 9 by 7 foot legacy solid. So if you go by the picture, I can't even, the picture is such a bad quality. I can't tell what the door looks like.
yeah, so 9 by 7 will just be one big roll down door, basically.
I'm assuming it's going to be a standard roll down door. And given that is facing the street, it would be nice if, I mean, there are roll down doors that are constructed in such a way that they mimic carriage doors,
Mhm.
including the hardware, so that at a glance from the street, it would look like carriage doors. That would be a better design for this
Yeah.
property
It
than
would help.
a standard metal roll down door.
Yeah, particularly if it had windows in it. I don't know if that shows on the rendering or not.
It does say that the door is solid, so I infer
Ah,
from
right.
no windows,
Mhm.
which I think would be fine. I mean, frankly, in a carriage, in the original garage that had the carriage doors, I don't think that had any windows in it.
No, I don't remember windows. Do you, William? The original,
Yeah, although I'm
Yes.
pretty sure that garage was not the original carriage house for that house. That was built after, I'm pretty sure,
okay.
from what I remember.
Given the age of that house, that's entirely possible. More thoughts, recommendations, comments?
So the exterior of it will be clapboard, or what will that look like?
Good question. Structural details, trim, siding, smart tech siding. Okay, I infer that that's basically a plywood-based product, like T111. It's basically a product that's used commonly on more contemporary homes.
Okay, but it looks like clapboard, or
No, I think it'll look like vertical side. Again, it's, a big problem with this is that we haven't been given a sample of the siding. We haven't been given
Mhm.
a or a clear picture of the garage door. We have comments on the pitch of the roof. We have comments on the orientation of it. If they get this done, you know. it would-
Yeah, they did email me. I've been in communications with them up until I believe yesterday. And they did inform me that they were going to attend this meeting.
All right.
They asked for the time and the date, and the location. I provided them with all that information and they're not here.
Tonight's meeting. Oh,
They did ask for, if they could bring samples, if there was an
Oh,
extra
that would be
cost and
wonderful, yeah.
everything, and I
Yeah,
told
no,
them
the
all of
more,
that
the more we
information, yeah.
discuss this, the more I realize how little we've been
Yeah,
shown.
There's 7:30, so it's getting late for them to show up. Hmm.
Oh, yeah, no, well, the meeting time is at 7 and I mean,
Yeah,
they've had the opportunity. Well, we can either make a recommendation as to things we would like to. Again, we don't know what the siding is. Yeah, no,
Would you like for me to reach out to them again and maybe suggest possibly for them to do virtual if they want to
well.
come in virtual or drop
Why don't we ask them
for more
for,
materials?
yeah, we want samples of the siding, the roof shingles, the door. What else?
Well, the other question I had was if this is an automatic garage door, they're not going to have the doors swing open manually, then doesn't that also suggest electrification of a
Again,
all
that's
wood
Fine. they could do
shed,
that.
which,
They could do that.
yeah, but the concern is if it's just all wood and it's not following, I know this is zoning things, but I'm concerned about the size where it sits on the property, how much clearance, because I think there's a garage directly next to where it is on the next property. And if that's all wood and there's catalytic converters and stuff in there, I'm worried, not that I have to
Well,
worry about it,
That
but I am
raises
worried.
A good question as to, and that's not an HPC matter, but it's more of a zoning and permitted uses matter. Can a homeowner
Mhm.
buy a shed with a wood floor and use it as a garage?
It's just a setback, so we look at like how far it is from the
So
property line.
we don't care that it's a wood floor.
We don't care. That probably is the building department, construction code, but as long as within its setbacks.
Mhm.
And has this gone before them?
No,
Does it have to?
depends on the size. They don't look at anything under 100 square feet.
Oh, this is bigger.
Yeah,
than
it's gonna
100.
be bigger.
So they will look at this.
Yeah,
Have they done that yet?
no, not until they get out of zoning. So they have to get their zoning approval first.
Oh, they don't. Why? Because of setbacks? or-
Yeah. But they have to first conform to zoning, get zoning, and
Okay.
then they'll get.
So,
building
so
approval.
can we at least provide them with some preliminary concerns that we have? To kind of,
Here's why, look, as I said at the last meeting, I built a garage on my property
Right.
and I've been through this before. I don't think may want to informally ask the construction department, hey, coming your way might be a request to put a prefab garage with a
Mhm.
wood floor on a property.
They'll stop them if it doesn't conform to
But
construction
my
code.
point is
they'll-
this, if we know it's not going to pass there, why not include that in this discussion here? So then when it goes to construction,
They'll
it's-
deal with it when they
Alright,
deal,
fine.
yeah, they'll
Yeah.
deal with it when they'll deal
Fine.
with it, because
all right,
they don't
okay.
but I
to muddy
think,
the waters when,
but I also think that one of the hopes that I've expressed in the past is that if somebody is like, we can have a conversation with applicants to make some suggestions rather than wait until it's a no. So I think that we should still reach out to
That's
these
why
prop,
that's why I'm asking, do you want
The most,
me to reach out to them to say, since this is the second time you were unable to come to the meeting, do you want to drop off your samples of your materials? And then maybe it's difficult. I think they both work in a city or something like that. So I think it may be a thing about their timing to come call in virtually, maybe, and present what they
Yeah.
have to do. Maybe it's that type of a situation.
Can you actually text them right now? Maybe they're
there-
in
there's-
transit or
Maybe the
something.
lost her.
I understand, having, commuted to the city for many years, and
Mm,
no, 7 o'clock is a very early time.
it is, yeah.
But at the end of the day, if they want to get something done, they don't have to come here personally. They just have to give us enough information,
Mhm.
make a recommendation, and they haven't done that.
but is Shauna gonna tell them our thoughts? Are you gonna tell them our thoughts?
I gave them the last recommendation, the last time that Lou had, I gave it.
What, on the roof pitch?
Yeah, I gave it all of them. I gave them the picture that Liam, not Liam, but that Paul provided. Remember you guys?
Oh, the old garage.
Yeah, the old garage. I gave them the screenshot. I said to all of that.
And they made no changes after that.
They didn't. So my last correspondence. Da-da-da. Remind us when the meeting is again. I think Scott might try to make it. I will be away. That's on the 9th. Do we have to pay again? That was the 16th. That was yesterday at 1:25. I said no. And they said at 1:30.
Sorry, can't hear you.
Oh no, I was just reading through my email.
So the other thing that you could reference is page 78 of the,
Gave them all of that.
oh, okay.
Um,
Okay. All right, then moving on, the Broad Street Historic District Property Owner Consent Letters.
Oh, yes. Okay. So for, as you all know, we did submit the grant to the Historic Trust for the Historic Heritage, Tour Grant. We were allowed to submit without the consent letters for the 50 properties. And we were given that opportunity to submit the consent letters after we submit the full submission. However, we have to submit the the letters prior to them making their final decision, which is in August. And so the letter, I have attached the letter, and the consent form that, I sent to Maren at River Center, who I'm working with, to reach out to the property owners that we know that are, willing to, that we know would be more willing to sign it to get us the plaques, give us consent to put the plaques there. I know Maren's a little busy right now with the watch party that's kind of driving everybody a little crazy right now. So once that's passed, I'll be reaching out again to talk to her more. But I did get more consent from John Anderson, who owns like several properties. I know the Bauer family owns several properties in the downtown. So I know a few of them that I can send it to, just on my own. But that's there. I also have an interview after the conference is over. The Historic Preservation Conference is over. I do have an interview with the Historic Trust about our 2 grant applications. The one for the historic plaques and for the architectural survey and for a new historic preservation element. I do have that interview, but that's to be scheduled after the conference. The representative did reach out to me and said she's a little wrapped up with the conference. So once that's all done, they'll be scheduling that just to have a conversation on our submission.
So what's the name of that person that you're going to be talking with?
Oh, I left the letter upstairs. I forgot her name.
When you, tomorrow morning, when you're in your office, could you text me?
Sure.
Just in
forgot her
case
name.
I find
Yeah, we're
myself
busy.
sitting at the table having lunch with somebody?
Sure. She was very nice. And yeah, it was like, I felt like I spoke with her before last time too. And she didn't make it seem like it was anything hard for us to get.
Yeah, I just want to,
And she,
if she sees my name tag and,
Yeah. and she
mentions,
complimented us too on our application. And said that we do, our grant writers are always great. And she was very impressed with our application. So,
Okay.
Yeah, also if you could text me that, or email me. I know a lot of these people, so I'm really hoping I can go tomorrow and
Right.
talk to
Yeah.
them.
So she did say that she was impressed with our application, and we did put together a good packet. So,
Okay, very good. Thank you. And moving to new business, 199 and 205 Broad Street.
Okay, so for the minutes, Marjorie Cavalier is going to recuse herself from discussion and any vote to take place because I am a client for the property owner and have also gifted them a copy of our design guidelines. So I'm going to remove myself from the dais now, and then I'll come back for adjournment.
So do you want to introduce this one as to, since it came from
sure.
zoning board?
So the 199-205 application is a zoning board application. This property is not within the Broad Street Historic District, nor is it a individual site, historic site. However, I believe in Paul's email,
In
the
2015.
2015,
One of the two.
it's the
These
same
are old
property.
Victorian
Yeah,
homes.
yeah.
Right.
Two of them. next to each other, and they're of the design that's common on. I think
On
it's
Broad Street.
On Broad,
Sure,
and Maple also has a lot
Yeah.
of these, and a lot of them have been converted, as have these, into
Office
office
buildings.
buildings housing, professional offices. One of these two properties, I think it was 199, even though it's not designated historic, even though it's not a historic district, back in 2015, the HPC at that time granted some awards to a few homes to recognize good historic preservation efforts. And this 199 Broad Street was one of the
Right.
buildings, one of the resources that received an award.
Can you hear? I can't hear anything.
Oh, you can't hear us? Can you hear us?
You
Yeah,
can't
I
hear
can hear you, but going back to,
what
uh,
I said.
yeah, we was talking about the historic house.
Okay, I'll repeat.
I'm
Sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
199 and 205 Broad Street are not designated historic properties. They're not in a historic district. However, they are older Victorian homes of a style that was commonly built along Broad Street, that, the south end, I'll call it a Broad Street, as well as along Maple.
Mhm.
And like many of the homes on both streets, these over the years were converted into professional use. So they're, commercial use. So they're now housing professional offices. For example, Smallwood, an asset manager, is, has offices in one of the properties.
Mhm.
Although they're now designated historic and they're not in a historic district, one of the two properties, 199 Broad Street, was renovated just over 10 years ago. And in 2015, the HPC at that time granted an award to that building for, outstanding historic preservation efforts, in terms of the work they did to bring that into the state it is today. So, it did get some HPC recognition in 2015. And although not designated, it is an attractive property. Now, going before the zoning board now is an application to make pretty significant modifications
Mhm.
to the to both buildings, including building a bridge
Connecting the two.
connecting the two. And that's not come to us because it's not designated historic. It's gone to the zoning board.
That is correct. Just the zoning board, because it's not within the HBC's jurisdiction,
Yeah.
so it wasn't an oversight. That
So-
I wanted to make clear, that it was an oversight on anyone's part. It's just that it wasn't in the my office reviewed the inventory, and to make sure that the block, the lot, the address, everything was not on any lists in the historic preservation element and on the registry. And this property was not there mentioned at all.
Yeah.
So Paul sits on the zoning board, as you all know, and so he wanted to bring, as you all saw in the email, bring it to the commission's attention that the commission should have some type of commentary on this proposal because of the recognition that it received from the prior HPC in 2015.
So perhaps maybe what we do, and when is the zoning?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. I mean, I think that a productive thing to do would be for us to recommend to the zoning board that although these two properties are not designated historic, although they are not in a historic district, they both have elements and history and location. They're on the same street as the historic district. Further up the street, they're not far from the house across from the post office that is designated historic. I would just ask the zoning board to, notwithstanding the lack of a formal historic designation, to consider respecting the current state of both properties and the historic elements of both properties. And I'd ask them to favor preserving as much of the historic character of those two properties as possible as it relates to any of the proposed changes.
Okay.
So minimize changes that would cause the properties to lose historical elements that they have now.
I'll draft the letter.
Yeah.
With your exact statement.
Okay. Great.
Anyone have anything else to add?
Are they interested in being designated as historic sites? Just out of curiosity, or does Paul own these? Or I'm not quite sure I understood what he was saying, but if I appreciate what he's, bringing it to our attention. If they're interested in being historic sites, that might be something that we get started on as well.
No, I think it's just, he says he's
Yeah, I know. Yeah, on both.
on the board, so it just,
I would expect that on the contrary, whoever is interested in making these changes probably
doesn't.
is interested in not having them
Is on it,
designated
yeah.
as
Yeah,
historic.
I figure that. One could dream. Yes.
So, all right, yeah.
Yeah, what's the point of having the bridge? So does that mean that the properties will then be consolidated into one big property?
I haven't. I assume they'll have renderings.
I think it is going to be consolidated and probably subdivided because the two are going to join and then then in the rear is going to be residential. They're going to build a residential building in the back.
Three.
Right.
Correct.
So that's.
Yeah.
I mean, it just seems like, going backwards as far as trying to preserve the character of Red Bank. They're cramming more in. It's just, I don't know. I don't know how we can stop it. It's terrible. And everybody I talk to is just horrified about it. So I don't know. I don't know what the answer is.
All right. Well, I think we have our statement.
Okay.
I think that's a good statement. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Do you want to do a formal vote or do you just want to just do the statement?
Yeah. Why don't we have a resolution? Anyone a resolution that favoring making the statement that I described?
Yeah, I'll put it into motion.
Okay. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Okay. And all in favor?
Sorry.
Aye.
Oh,
Made a motion.
fine.
Liam made the motion?
Liam made the motion.
Letter. So the motion is to send the letter to
Mhm.
Betsy. Roll call, and then so Louis Almarini
Yes.
and Marjorie recuse. Liam Collins,
Aye.
Karen Smelskoff,
Yes.
and Betsy Valera. Okay.
Anything else to discuss? Public comments? Anyone on?
Did we have any feedback from what Shauna and Christina presented to the council?
Oh, the ordinance was adopted. It becomes in effect in 20 days. I think it's 20 calendar day. 20
Okay, that's great news.
Yeah. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Oh, so the ordinance to the ordinance to designate the sites that are on the state and national registries was adopted at the last council meeting.
Okay, that's great.
And so it goes into effect in the next 20 days from that meeting.
So is the master plan going to be amended?
No, it's the ordinance is amended.
Right, but now in the way the master plan reads as published, it just says TBA for those.
It doesn't matter because the ordinance is what rules.
Okay, I mean, it's just,
Yeah, it doesn't like what dictates the law and is the ordinance.
Mhm.
I guess what I'm saying is that the master plan is available on the Red Bank site. And if you are changing something that's in the master plan, does some kind of note have to be made to somebody accessing the master plan that it has been amended, that is no longer as read in the master plan?
No, master plans are updated every 10 years. Every 10 years is updated, well, re-examined every 10 years.
Okay.
But the most important thing is that the ordinance is updated. And so when we adopted this ordinance, now it's incorporated into it. So people more so pay attention to the fact that the ordinance is changed and now it's going to be incorporated into it. I understand what you're saying, but that document is going to be outdated many a times because we're changing a lot more other things within it too. So it over time, it's going to be outdated because new policies are going to be changed.
Okay, I mean, I just didn't want it to fall through the cracks because I know how hard it was to try and figure out what was what in terms of the element and
It's
everything.
not going to be fall through the cracks because it's adopted now as an ordinance. So
Okay.
as long as people know how to read an ordinance and that an ordinance is now law and is you now know how to read code,
Okay.
it's in the code.
And that'll also be another thing we can check off on our CLG checkoff list.
Yes, so it's
Yeah.
there now.
Yeah, that's great, Shauna. Thank you.
Yeah.
So when we're accumulating pieces for that, we would put this in there. Liam,
For the checklist, yes.
for our application, we would physically put that ordinance in the application?
At least, well, I think so. I think we do have to include the list of designated buildings, so that would be part of the list.
So, I mean, as something else to speak to them about, I mean, in terms of evidence required for this application? Would be a question. What kind of evidence do you have to attach to the application?
The evidence would be the signed ordinance.
So, yeah,
So I have a copy of that.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
If there's no other business, do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a
Need a
second? A second. Do I have a second?
I'll
I'll
second.
second.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you and good night.
All right.
Thanks, everybody. Good night.
Aye.